All right, mic check. Mic check, mic check, mic check. How we doing, people? How we doing? Are we doing good? Whoa! It's getting a little dicey there for a minute. Um, Here, let's get into this, shall we? Let's get into this, shall we? Okay. All right, let's see if there's anything else that I need to queue up. Okay, no, I think we're good. I think we're good. Microphone looks good. Um, Microphone looks good. Screen looks good. Stream looks like it's coming through smoothly. All right, so then let's jump into it, guys. Hello, welcome back to another stream, guys. This is GVS. We had an amazing, and I mean amazing, um, divisional round. There was a lot of good football games, and one thing, hold on, let's do one thing here. I'm really either I was leaning. Ooh, hold on. Do we do that? I'm super zoomed in. I think it's just default of. Oh, fetch, and now I messed it up. Hold on. Let's just do this. No, let's keep it how it is. Let's keep it how it is. I don't know. It was like super zoomed in, and I was like, what the heck? What was I messing with? Okay, but we had an awesome divisional round. In this stream, what I want to go over and what I want to talk about is I want to talk about some NFL news, just give my personal thoughts and reactions to each and every single game, because wouldn't you know, we can't go, without a little bit of controversy in every single playoff game, it feels like now, because boy, oh boy, it was very loud um, over the recent games that happened. If you ask any Bills fans are feeling some type of way, which I do not blame them, considering how many playoff exits that they have had the last handful of seasons, by the hands of whether it was Mahomes or officiating or whatever. But yeah, if you ask anybody in Buffalo who won that game, they'll say they did. But again, like I said, no game was without controversy, and if you ask social media, that is exactly how it was this weekend. And so I was going to go over some of the games and just give my personal thoughts and reactions. So if you guys have any hot takes that you want me to cover, or any hot takes that you might cover yourself, be sure to let me know in the comments section. Be sure to drop it in the chat, and we can try to answer it, because hot takes are good. Hot takes are what make sports fun. Because I guarantee you right now, a hot take that I've had, at least since the Rams beat. Let me look here. Let's pull it up. What game? We were about halfway through the season. What the hell? Source: Dolphins hire Packers Halfley as new head coach. What the hell? Who is that guy? Dude, I'm a Packers fan and I don't even know who that guy is. They're not going to go with Sean McDermott? They're not. Okay. That's the other thing, too, is there's a lot of teams that have hired new coaches just with how the playoffs is. The playoffs have been the biggest talking point, obviously. And so, like, for example, Stefanski getting hired. Stefanski got hired by the Falcons, and then Harbaugh got hired by the Giants, which I knew Harbaugh got hired by the Giants because I made a short on it. But, like, there were so many big hirings that happened, because those are big deals. Those are, those create a lot of attention in the sports space. But, like, because considering everything else that was going on, it's like, you're like, huh? What? So, okay. Well, just because it's the hirings right now are not as important as the football that is being played on the field. That's the point I'm trying to get across here. As you know, if or you look at Kyle Whittingham getting hired for Michigan, you look at Campbell getting hired for Penn State. These would make bigger headlines and more. They'd get more spotlight if it wasn't going on in the middle of the college football playoff. You see what I mean? Same thing in turn with the NFL. Anyways, for me personally, because I will admit I have not been a total homer on the Rams all season. I predicted them going, I think, I don't know. I'm going to have to pull up. I'll probably have to pull up like the document or something, but you can go watch the video. I made a video. I think I had them at the beginning of the season because you look at some of their games, loss. Like these are all tough games. But then you look at the second half of their season. I said they get to about past this Bucks game, they can just cruise if they can. And again, at the time, I didn't think the Seahawks. Dude, I had the Seahawks winning 4 games this season. I didn't think the Seahawks would be the number 1 team. So, do I know ball? Clearly, I don't know ball enough because I thought the Seahawks were going to win 4 games this year. But somewhere around here, I think in my video I said they could end the season on a 6-game win streak or something. Obviously, that's not what happened because you look here. They lost to the Seahawks. They lost to the Falcons on that Monday night football matchup. For me personally, I think when we started to talk about Stafford's MVP, because Drake May was also in the conversation. The Bears were the 1 seed in the NFC, like overall, but then they ended up losing to the Packers. That was around week 8 or week 9. We're like somewhere after this Seahawks game or the Buccaneers game. Somewhere around here, I was still leaning towards, okay, we're going to get a Buccaneers-Eagles NFC Championship game, or we're going to get a Rams-Eagles NFC Championship game. Because to me, how I looked at it was, I didn't think the Seahawks were legit. I'll just say how it is. I didn't think they were legit. I think the Bucks, because this was in the middle of the Bucks starting to slip a little bit downhill. I mean, I think at the time the Bucks were... let's go look, actually. Yeah, the Bucks were starting to slip, but I think, if they rally here, find some wins. Also, Mayfield got injured in this game. We know how this game went. It was a dud. But somewhere around here, I had high praise for the Rams, and I was like, the Rams are a team destined to get to the Super Bowl if they can keep this up. Why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this to invite you guys to say hot takes, because one of my hot takes was around halfway through the season. I said, what? I've seen enough. I think the Rams are going to be in the NFC title game. And wouldn't you know it, the Rams are in the NFC title game. Not without a little bit of drama, though, because the ending of that Bears game, dude, it was absolutely phenomenal. You look and you watch the game live. Right after Williams scored that touchdown to tie it to Kmet, this game's over. Like, we've seen this song and dance before, because it kind of happened in the divisional round last year, where the Rams were playing the Eagles, where the Rams get back into it, and then, see you later. There goes Barkley. Game's over. Then this was not the case. It went to overtime. We know how it went in overtime, but if you guys got any hot takes that you want to let me know in the comments, be sure to let me know. Hit that like button if you guys are enjoying, but let's keep the stream rolling. So my reaction to the playoffs as a whole have been very entertaining. I think if you guys want to see, this is who I had, and boy was I wrong. I think one thing here. Let's start to delete some things here. I delete that. Yeah. Okay, and then the Seahawks here. Let's move the Seahawks on to the next round. And then the Broncos on to the next round. Alrighty then. Alrighty. Okay. Which the Denver game. Yeah, this game was first. So we can go over this because it went boom boom and then boom boom. Yeah, I didn't know. A lot of people have known this. Apparently 1 seeds play on Saturday. I had no clue about that. Like, I don't know how long that's been a thing, but apparently it's been a thing for a while. I did not know that. All right, let's keep it going, guys. All right, but here's my reaction to the Bills versus Broncos game. There is a lot of talk around it, and one of them is, did Cooks catch the football? You know what? In real time bang bang play, no, I actually didn't think he caught the football. But my stance on it is not from like, hey, no, he was down. Oh, ref, you're screwing us over. Because that's what a lot of people when people, because Bills fans and kind of the whole NFL as a whole, when right after they lost to the Chiefs, what was something that people talked about right after? Well, did Allen get that first down? Yeah, you know what, Allen did. Did they give him the first down? No, they didn't. Did the Chiefs score a touchdown off of stopping them? No, actually they didn't, because the Chiefs punted the ball right back to the Bills. There was no point swing momentum, if you want to look at it from that point of view. And the other thing too is Allen got the ball, I think, 3 more times in that fourth quarter. And on the third drive is where Kincaid dropped the ball. And Kincaid dropping the ball was actually more a reason why the Bills lost to the Chiefs last year. But I'm not saying that there aren't some games that have been a little, ooh, here we go. But I think in this turn too, about people getting upset that, oh, the officiating, because they compared it side by side. They compared Devontae Adams' catch that, the defender ripped out. At the same time, they compared it to the Cooks catch. Truth is, the play is the same. Both of them are the exact same, because both of them are bang bang plays. I think though, if there's something to get upset or angry about, what should be more upset and angry about is the 30 yards that the Broncos were spotted on that final drive. That's what I'd be a little bit more about, is not the fact that Allen threw the deep ball and it was intercepted, okay? Because whether it was a catch or not by Cooks, you know what? Maybe it was a catch. Because, yeah, you can see in the... Here, let me pull it up here. Cooks catch. All right. Now. Here's the thing. Okay. Because this is the image that everybody's going to talk about, is this one. Hopefully my head is not in the way to my... No, my head's in the way a little bit. Oh, yep, because here's the same exact play, because everybody put this photo next to the Cooks one, and they're like, how the hell is this a catch when the ball looks a little loose here? They're like, how the hell is this a catch? But then maybe this one's a little blurry. This photo's a little bit more blurry, but I don't think my head's in the way. As you guys can see, point of contact, football right there, knees down. Now, the thing that I'm thinking, oh, well, this one kind of, hello. Hey, you kind of can't argue with this one, because Cooks he was only targeted once the whole game. And, I mean, if this is the same play we're thinking of, oh yeah, 29's coming away with the ball here. I mean, hey, the proof is in the pudding. No, I think, whether it was a catch or not, because again, I'm still kind of on the fence. I'm more sitting because it was a bang bang play. There's parts of me that yes, it was an interception. When you slow it down 1,000%, does it look like an interception? No, it looks like a catch by Cooks, which, you know, I wanted the Bills to win. But like when you watch this play through the whole time as well, let's hold on. Let's do some. Let's go here to. Let's look at. Brandon Cook's catch. Pause. Okay. Okay. Now, hold on, where, trying to make sure there's no music. Okay. Good, it's muted. Just trying to make sure there's no, because I don't want to get copyright claimed for music. Okay. See how this looks. Okay. All right. Now, here we can take away the captioning too. Okay. So, foot down, possession. Now, one thing with this hand extension, I mean, you can be ripping at the ball, but as you can tell, the football is not getting loose. When you slow it down, yeah, that looks like a catch. But upon going to the ground, because don't you have to, if there is if a player catches the ball but then he falls down, don't you have to be touched down by contact or something like that? Like someone has to declare you as down if you fall down as a receiver. And so I think in the rule book, probably section, whatever, there's probably a rule on while making a football move of declaring a player down if you strip the ball out. I don't know. But yeah, when you slow it down, super slow-mo, it does look like he has possession. We have a shin and his knee down, and he's down right there. 1,000% he's down. Now, as we can see as we are rolling over each other, he rips the ball out. When at the same time he's declaring Cooks down during the tackle. But then he comes out of it. He comes out of the pile with the football. Now, one play that I want to show here, which in fact, let's pull up the highlights. Because, again, we are going off of, it is slowed down. I'm pausing it. We are going off of skip, because it was right here. Oh my gosh. Gotta get that ad revenue, baby. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. Say less. All right. Now. Oh, shit. Can we... I don't know how good we'll be. I don't know how... Hopefully we don't get hit too much. Okay. So the ball flying through the air. Now, it is 3rd and 10. One thing I will say about this whole play call is why when we have... Okay, we're not going to see it now because obviously we don't see any crossing routes over the middle. We don't see it until the ball is gone. Look who can have a comeback route here. Or that's Knox. Either that's Knox or Kincaid. Look who has a slip route around here in the 40 that can be made. Like, it is 3rd and 10, and it is also overtime. Like, there's a chance, like, with just play calling, where it's 2 plays to get a first down. That would be my instance and approach to this, is we can try to get the first down here with 2 plays. And so for them to go for the long ball on 3rd and 10, when maybe we shouldn't. Okay, Watch the body language of Cooks, because this is something I noticed too after this play. So, okay, we've already established, okay, cool, he caught it. Look at it. There's kind of that, I don't know, the body language of, oh shit, he picked me off. Does that make sense? And again, I'm not like being a homer here for the Broncos, like, oh yeah, hell yeah, it's a pick. What the hell are you talking about? Like, I rooted for the Bills in this game. Like, I wanted a Bills-Rams Super Bowl. But there's parts of me that, like, landing on the ball, having it ripped away, just the body language that Cooks has, kind of shows the, okay, you beat me on that rip. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that that's why he declared that, you know, because call on the field is an interception. Do I agree with Coach McDermott that they should have, like, looked at it? Yeah, they probably should have, because this is a huge-ass game and a huge-ass play. What I'm more going, okay, is, okay, and again, I'm going to talk about it. So, those who are huge ref fans, turn away, avert your eyes. Okay, this drive, they got a couple first downs. I will give them that. Sean Payton's play calling, like okay. So it is 2nd and 10 right here. When the Broncos line up to have Bo Nix roll out to the left to spot the ball, which was eventually the play where he rolled his ankle and broke it, which we'll probably talk about that a little later in the stream too. You know how many yards were spotted? Like 30 or 40. Because there's this play that turns into a pass interference. There were 2 back-to-back pass interference call. So rather than being pissed on whether or not Cooks allowed an interception or not, something that can't be like ignored is from where we are, we're hovering around the 50-yard line. The refs spotted them 30-plus yards in back-to-back plays. So this is where we have our original play. And then by the time we run another legit play, let's go look at where the ball is. Hold on. No, not here. Not here. Not here. Look at where the ball is. So in 2 plays, they went from like the 47, 46 to the 8-yard line. I'd be more pissed about that than Josh Allen forcing it down the field when he didn't need to on 3rd and 10. That's what I'd be a little bit more pissed about if I were a Bills fan, but I'm not. I'm a Packers fan, so I've already seen this kind of horse shit before. Okay, now, is this a pass interference? Hell yeah. You can see Johnson's grabbing at his wrist right here. Okay, I'm not going to fight and say that this is not a pass interference, because Johnson did have his wrist. Okay? All right, you spot him that. And if not that, you have Bosa taking it home. If it was Mahomes, if it was Lamar, actually no. I think if it was Lamar, nobody would give a shit. If it was Burrow, nobody would give a shit. But if it was Allen or Justin Herbert or Drake May, yeah, your ass is getting flagged every time. Okay? Now, the play that I'm circling if I'm a Bills fan and pissed at the officiating is this play right here. Okay? Look, what kind of release is that? That is a lobbed grapefruit. We have seen Bo Nix throw so much better, but he's just lobbing a grapefruit up there. Look at that hang time. That's a punt. That is a punt. Okay? Baiting, whether it was White, whether it was Johnson, whoever was the corner that fell over the safety. Notice how he didn't throw the flag and he was watching it. Hold on, let's rewind it here. So he just grapefruits this up in the air, floating. They don't throw the flag. It's this back. Hey, where's the back judge? Anybody? Oh, there they are. They're hiding over here in the corner. Okay? So not this one that's right there looking at the play. This other back one that's on the goal line. This would be the play that I'm going, okay. If I was, you know. But on other replays here, watch Mims, okay? Watch Mims jump back into white here. Okay, so we've seen Bo Nix put it more on a dime. Okay, again, loft it over the middle. Look at Mims. Sorry, I keep pausing. Watch Mims jump back into white. I'm going to popped and jumped and leapt back into white. It doesn't show it on the replay, but that'd be, to me, I think 9 out of 10 times, whoever the quarterback is, whoever the team is, when you are purposely underthrowing a pass for the receiver to come back and initiate contact like like flopping or something for a free throw in basketball, that's where I think it's a bait play, and I'd be more concerned about this play overall than the 3 or 4 other plays too, because we were sitting around here at the 41 or 42 on the other side. The refs got him down to here, spot foul because of Johnson, and then 2 back-to-back pass interference calls. That's what I'd be a little bit more pissed about than, oh my gosh, it was a catch. The refs are robbing us blind. I'd be more pissed at the fact that the league. See, look, whoop. We've seen Knicks throw more of a dart than that. Which, in fact, we might. Hold on, let's go find. Where's the pass that he hit? Okay, case in point. No. Okay, hold on. Let's let the ad play out. Oh, dude. Okay, so he runs this for a first down. Cool, whatever. Okay, and then he gets hit here. All right, let's get to this. Okay, hold on. Let me open this up here for 2 seconds. Let's get this. Hold on, people. Stay here. Sometimes the shade, like when the sun's setting, as you guys can see, there's a huge, like it's yeah. Anyways, okay. Again, we're talking grapefruits when you're just throwing it up there, waiting for something to happen, versus putting it on a line. Case in point, let's go look at this touchdown that put the Broncos up 30-27. Again, it's just a theory, okay? It's just a theory. Look at this. So we got our, okay. Same kind of look, same kind of pressure. It looked like there was a little bit more zip behind that throw. And it looked like this ball just carried a little bit more. Looked like that ball carried a little bit more ground. But there's a little bit more whistle on the ball versus we fast forward here. Which, again, dude, the Broncos had all the momentum after this play alone to continue to march down the field and go win the game. They didn't need to be spotted 35 yards. Because if you've looked all season too, the Bills all season. Okay, there was hand fighting with Johnson, right? Oh, hold on, right there. Okay, look at that. Look at that. Still grabbing him. Still grabbing him. Still grabbing him. Still grabbing him. Okay, I'll give him that. But then we get zip on that ball. That is a fadeaway jumper. Because even the distance of Caleb Williams' throw to Kmet, that ball, even as much of an air ball it had more zip and it traveled farther in less time. Just saying. farther distance. Um, yes, he got flagged there. Oh yes, of course. Yes. So, as upset and mad as Bills fans are about how, oh my gosh, oh what a, I'd just be a little bit more upset that um, the 30ish yards that were spotted. That's my thing. All right, now, because then Lutz comes on here. Wait, is this the play where he rolls his ankle? No. Where? So he threw this on that bad ankle. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Let's do Bo Nix's ankle injury. Let's go look at that. I don't know what play. Oh, hold on. Okay, make sure that's muted. No. Because there's not like a... there's not like a definitive... Boom, there it is. Kind of like how the Mahomes injury, or a couple years back when Nick Chubb got injured, which, dude, that was brutal. Okay, we're coming back to this injury. I don't know if it was a misstep here or him getting tacked, because he didn't gator roll. There was no gator roll, no foul play. And like, as you can see, he's walking fine. I don't... Did you hear they were talking, some of the post-game reaction, like there was talks that he injured his foot celebrating. There was a theory on that, which I'm not going to read too much into it. Cause what happened? Well, because it's the same theory that's going on with ASU and why Sam Levitt left. Which, hell, even fun fact, even Sam Levitt, I think he transferred to LSU, and I haven't even made a video on that. Like, that's how much sports news has happened this weekend. But yeah, there's a theory around the reason why Sam Levitt transferred or something was because he got injured doing something he wasn't supposed to, or something like that, and Dillingham knew about it, and so discipline, because he tried to discipline him. I don't know. It was a theory. It was a theory I saw out there, but I'm not reading into it too much. One thing that can't be ignored too, and I think Josh Allen, he did talk about it in his post-game reaction. 5 turnovers. You are not going to win a game with 5 turnovers. And the funny thing too, and it's honestly, it's like kind of it's like sad, pathetic, is like we saw with the Patriots and the Texans game. Like, both teams damn near had 5 turnovers in the first half, and it's like that game still was close. And it's like it's just kind of that thing about football where it's like, damn, both these teams had that many turnovers, and both teams still had a shot. But what ended up ending your season was the final turnover. Okay, what else? Nothing too crazy to talk about. Like, I think the other thing too that can't be ignored, because a lot of people are talking about Josh Allen's legacy. Here's the thing. This game was over. When you looked at the score of it being 23-10, but then look how many straight drives here. 3 straight drives of scoring points to get them back in the game. Are we just going to ignore that too? I guess we are. I guess we're just going to ignore that. And you want to know another thing that we're going to ignore too? Hey, let's ignore the fact that after Mims had that awesome touchdown catch to take the lead 30-27, let's just whatever. Let's throw it away that Josh Allen marched down the field in 50 seconds. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It don't mean shit. You see what I mean? Like, the fact that it even got to overtime just shows how good of a player Allen is. Because I'm here to say, I don't know how many other players. Clearly, the only one in this round was Caleb Williams, but what other quarterbacks can do that? What other quarterbacks, after fighting to get back into the game, taking the lead with 4 minutes left to go, watch your team, your defense blow this, and then, oh my gosh, you got to come up with something. You got a minute left. I mean, Rodgers did it a couple weeks ago when they beat the Ravens. And then we saw what happened. The defense let Baltimore just march right down the field before the missed field goal. But what of all 32 NFL teams, which quarterbacks, after giving their team the lead, watch their defense blow that lead and then go march right back down the field and tie it or win it? I can't say that Herbert can do that. I can't say that Tua. Can't say that Jared Goff. Can't say, there are so many quarterbacks who, if they were in that same position as Josh Allen, I don't know if they do what they did. I really don't. So the fact that it even got to overtime, crazy. Now, actually, let me keep this 1,000% transparent as well too. The no call holding Bills. No call holding Bills. Okay. There it is. Okay. This play. Oh yeah. Everybody's going to talk about this one. Because here's another thing that a lot of people have talked about. Is they're like, overtime shouldn't have even happened, or overtime should have ended at the very beginning because of this play right here. I don't know if it's the guard or if it's Brown right here, the tackle. Somebody holds, I think it's Brown. Somebody catches him up by the neck. And by rule, if there is a holding call within the end zone, or I think on the goal line, it is a automatic safety because it's a holding call, and game should have been over. Now, with how crazy, look at this. This is actually kind of funny. Well, and then the most infamous stat too. Holding. This wasn't called a holding. Or where is it? Come on. Okay, yes, there it is. Zero amount of Chiefs holding calls in the last 3 Super Bowls. You know what? Hey, it's a beautiful business, baby. This is a beautiful business. But the thing though about holding is, if you look what is this right here? You don't think the defender having his hands around the neck of the offensive guy and them doing the same, you don't think this is holding? If you want to get ticky-tacky and do ticky-tacky bullshit, every play is a holding play. Here it is. There it is. Yeah, okay, it's Brown. Okay, look at this. So we have this. Okay, by rule, is it a holding? Yeah, it is. Yeah, by rule, if we're looking by rule, the game should have been over right here and now. But I think to me, there's a part where you got to let the players play. And I don't think with how big of a game that this was, it's Josh Allen. Josh Allen's on offense. You're not calling that. You know what I mean? Just like how down the right sideline in the Fiesta Bowl with Ole Miss and Miami, people calling for, hand fight, PI. Where's the PI? You're not calling it. You're not calling it on the last freaking play of the game. You're not. Just in the same breath, Allen's on offense, you're not gonna end the game without him being the one that ends the game. You know what I mean? You're gonna have this game end with him either throwing an interception, sack, fumble, or being short of the first down. You're not gonna end the game with a technical ticky-tack. Well, you see here the defender was held on the goal line. Well, because look at this too. Look at this hand placement. He's holding too. Again, if you want to look at every single play and go over it with a fine comb, every play is holding. Every single effing play is holding. But again, I don't think they would have called it. I don't think they would have called it, and they wouldn't have called it anyways, because you can't. You can't. You're not going to end the game like that. You're going to give both teams the chance to try to get the ball and go win the game. During the regular season, sure. I think, yeah, if this was during the regular season, maybe, but it being overtime of a divisional game, hell no. It's never happening. But then in same turn, I guess we have moments of, hey, ball don't lie, because who ended up winning this game? Broncos. But then, yeah. So, there's that. Yeah. If y'all want to know how I feel, truthfully, if y'all want to know how I feel, that is how I feel about that. Is that, yes, this is a holding call. It wasn't called a holding. Yeah. This could have been something too, and it wasn't. There are I think this is white. This is the final play. Yeah, no, there were a lot of calls. There are a lot of calls, and there are a lot of tough calls. And fortunately, you and I, we do not get paid the big bucks to try to make those calls. I'm under the impression though that you gotta let the players play. Though, that'd be me. Okay, shoot, I gotta hurry though, dude. We got the national championship coming up here. So I better hurry up. I didn't mean for this stream to be this long. We were gonna do a stream reacting to the divisional round games, and then we were going to do a reaction for the national championship game. So the fact that we're teetering on, hey, by the way, the national championship starts in 30 minutes. We'll get it quick though. We'll continue. We'll try to wrap up this stream. But I think at the end of the day, my thoughts on the Bills-Broncos game was kind of like how I said earlier in the stream, is with how the Broncos started after the interception, the momentum of Harvey taking that play where he missed 6 tackles. Bo Nix was already having a pretty decent performance and good game that whole time. You got to just let the offense ride that momentum all the way to the end zone instead of spotting 40-plus yards in penalties on back-to-back PI calls. That's neither here nor there. So I was incorrect on my prediction of the Bills and the Rams meeting up here in the Super Bowl. I'm still sticking with this was my in the last stream I talked about who do I want in the Super Bowl on the AFC side, who do I want on the NFC side. I had, winner of this is going to the Super Bowl. That's who I would predict. I'm still going to ride with the Broncos. I know that Stidham is their quarterback, but I'm still riding with the Broncos. I have not seen, from the Patriots as a whole, I have not seen an impressive enough complimentary game where, it's 1,000% convincing. These guys are the real deal. What is kind of a little concerning me a little bit is right now both the Patriots and the Broncos are teetering on Chiefs level of okay, we saw the Chiefs kind of just magically get their way through all these tough one score games or low scoring games where the offense wasn't complementing the defense or vice versa. And then they showed up in the Super Bowl, and what did the Eagles do? They whooped their ass because there was no hiding, there was no hiding any blemishes of, man, this, our corners are a struggle. Our middle linebacker defense are a struggle. The Eagles took advantage of all of that, and you couldn't hide from it. And what I'm going to make this prediction right now that whoever wins out of I think the NFC is winning the Super Bowl because I think there's too many holes in both of these teams that you cannot ignore it. Broncos, what can you not ignore? Hey, your starting quarterback is out, and your backup quarterback, who has not had a start or played an official game since 2023, he's your main dude. Good luck. Patriots, what can I not ignore? Hey, you just got by CJ Stroud, who had a dog shit performance and had about 7 turnovers. Good job. Good luck. I can't ignore it. I cannot ignore that Daniil Hunter, Stingley, Anderson, just basically freaking everybody. The Texans defense had the Patriots at bay. What will I give the Patriots credit, though, on their win? There's nothing it's not like me trying to talk about the Oregon or the Indiana game where, yes, Indiana did beat Oregon, but let's not also overlook the fact that they spotted them 21 effing points. Okay? You have 2 fumbles, a pick 6, and the Hoosiers start on the plus 50 4 times. They spotted the Hoosiers 28 points. You can't ignore that. Now, Mendoza had a hell of a game. How many touchdowns did he have? 5? I believe he was 1 touchdown short of tying Joe Burrow's record. That was, yeah, okay. That's pretty decent. And then you look at, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he had a deep shot to Becker as well. As the game played on and there was more time, those, okay, Oregon spotted them 21 points. The lead became so much that even if you cut the turnover, points off of turnovers, you cut that out of the ball game. Indiana still blew them out because that's how effective their offense was in the second half and in the fourth quarter. How many points did they score in the fourth quarter? They scored 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter alone when the game was already out of reach. So, anyways, what I'm talking about the Patriots, though, is one thing that I will go, okay, this impressed me. I liked this. Was the deep shot from Made Butte, Bout, that one hand grab. I cannot discredit that. That alone sealed the game. Kind of like how you look at the 49ers versus Seahawks game. Okay, when did Seattle win that game? Opening kickoff, because they scored 7 points. How many points did the 49ers score all game? 6. So that would be my only thing for the Patriots-Texans game is that Kirk showed up. At one point, the Texans did have the lead, but I mean, how long were the turnovers going to last? I mean, because we saw it. This is my own personal opinion. We saw it in the Monday night game with the Steelers. Steelers had 3 turnovers, and how many points did they get out of it? Nothing. They did jack shit with it, and under that same breath, when the Patriots got all of those turnovers, what did the Patriots do with it? Not a lot. This game, all things considered, and this is where I kind of think the offensive play was a little lackluster. I mean, because it could have, but I'm only saying that because it could have been so much more. Go look at, here, let me pull it up. Let's go look at how many turnovers Patriots freaking had. Okay. 28-16. Okay. Dude. 5 turnovers. 4 interceptions. One of them was a pick six. Like, dude, there was... where is it? Yeah. Keishon Boutte. Yeah. The 32-yarder in the fourth quarter. That sealed the game. That was like, okay. Cool. Okay, so Drake May can ball. This one, too. Not gonna discredit this one. I mean, Drake May did have 3 touchdowns. But again, you have 3 touchdowns. Okay, there's your 21. Okay, you have the pick 6. There's your 28. Dude, 5 turnovers. You turn all those into touchdowns, that's 35 points. So again, this game could have been a lot uglier. Yeah. So I'm just kind of... Yeah, the Patriots, man. Dude. Which, the other thing too, when you look at the Patriots and them winning this game, I've seen a lot of people talk about how, CJ Stroud is trash, and or my only thing is, I hope, and I guess I can end the stream on this, because there's about some final thoughts on the whole stream too, is I hope in the same breath of us saying that Josh Allen stinks and that CJ Stroud sucks, I also hopefully we also realize too that freaking the same amount of, hold on, what am I trying to say here? What am I trying to say here? So there's been okay, this is what I'm trying to say. Is I hope that with as much as people say that CJ stinks and how much people say that Josh Allen stinks or Purdy or Drake May, I hope this follows them as much as the playoff slander. That's the word. I've been looking... Slander. The word I've wanted to say this whole time is slander. With all the slander that has been thrown around about these quarterbacks, I hope it stays with them their whole career as much as it did with Rodgers, because, as a Packer fan, what was one thing that everybody talked about with Rodgers' career? He couldn't get it done in the big game. And that followed him throughout his whole career, and especially after the Seattle game. So when we look at Caleb Williams and what the Bears did phenomenally this year, I hope there's still that kind of same, hey, but can Caleb Williams really win it? Can he really win the big one? Or can Josh Allen really win the big one? There's parts of me that hope that we keep that same energy, because it's not going to happen. Next year is going to happen, and everybody's going to be right back on the Josh Allen bandwagon. Right back on the Caleb Williams train, right back on the CJ Stroud train. It is so funny to see the switch up of people saying, okay, these guys are ass, when it's there are a lot of people who've been saying they were ass since the get-go, and we never switched up. So I just wanted to say that real quick, that having been a Packer fan my whole life and watching people not give any credit to how it didn't matter what the seed was, how many players were injured, how far some of the playoff runs that Aaron Rodgers took the Packers on. All of it's discredited, and it's whatever, nobody gives a shit, when it's literally, who could have, who would have gone on a generational run? You put, for example, let's take the Texans. You take the Texans defense or the Broncos defense. If you go put prime Aaron Rodgers on that Texans team, dude, they're going the distance. You put, who's another? Well, right now Stafford's starting to see it, because his defenses have been pretty elite, and he's been able to complement. It is more so he complements his defensive play versus his defense have to complementing his play. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like Josh Allen, Josh Allen and the offense would be the better half of the Bills team. The defense does not complement it. Switch it, in turn, the Texans' defense is the better half of that football team. C.J. Stroud and the offense do not complement that defense. And then with his old age, what has been better? The Steelers' defense. And the Steelers' defense has kind of been a big vocal point for Pittsburgh fans probably since 2020, because was Roethlisberger spinning it, in his final handful of seasons to the level of, Stafford right now or Allen or Bo Nix. No, he wasn't. So, you see the twilight years. I think that's the term, sunset, sunrise. But you see the end and the final, years of Aaron Rodgers' career. Like, does his offense play, compete and, what's what I'm looking for? Oh my gosh, I've said it like 7 times. Compliment the Steelers defense? No, which, shows because they lost. But, it's super funny. It's super funny to watch everybody all of a sudden. Or, notice how nobody's talking about Brock Purdy either. Nobody's criticizing Brock Purdy after this loss. They're kind of like, whatever. Nobody... Well, another thing too, with the Seahawks, I'm kind of... Look, Darnold had a good game. The other thing, if I was a Rams fan, another thing to be concerned about is if the Seahawks beat the 49ers with just their run game, imagine how explosive that this team could be if Darnold's passing has to become a factor. And I'm using this in a positive because, Jackson Smith-Njigba, he had his touchdown, and that's it. I think he caught the ball twice, but because of how in control Seattle was that whole game, they didn't need to pass the ball. It's like, hey, let's run the ball. Oh, look at that. Kenneth Walker has a touchdown. Oh, look at that. He has another one. Oh, look at that. Another one. He had a hat trick against the 49ers. So that'd be my reaction to this game is that Seattle, contrary to popular belief, was able to beat the 49ers. And I'm going to sound off kind of like what Lenore was saying in the postgame. There's parts of me that think that with a full, healthy 49ers team, I'm sorry. You don't think Bosa, you don't think Fred Warner, you don't think, you bring, okay, maybe Ayuk comes out of nowhere and he plays, or Kittle. You don't think any of these guys could have had a little bit of a factor to this game or turn it into some kind of positive, or any of the guys that they let go this offseason after their season, this past offseason after they've missed the playoffs. You don't think any of those guys that went to the Colts or the Eagles or the Titans, you don't think any of them could have impacted this defense? Hell, for hell's sakes, Hufanga had one of the biggest hits in the Bills-Broncos games. You don't think Hufanga would have had a big game against Seattle if he stayed with the 49ers? Just saying. Coping hard for the 49ers. But I think this is going to be a big matchup. I'm pulling for the Rams, so I'll be honest. Okay, you want to see my Super Bowl pick here? This is who I want to see go. But I'll be honest, I don't think I don't know. I don't know. If the Broncos go, here's how the Broncos go to the Super Bowl. A, Drake May doesn't throw for 3 touchdowns. That's one thing. That's the first thing that needs to happen, because Drake May having 3 touchdowns, he did fine. would I say that the offense as a whole did fine, capitalizing off of turnovers against the Texans? No, hell no. Because again, if you turn all those touchdowns all the turnovers into touchdowns, that's 35 points. And how many points did they have total? 28. So, I'm thinking if the Broncos want to beat the Patriots, Stidham needs to play how he played at Auburn. That's one thing, because he was pretty decent at Auburn. The other thing that needs to happen is somebody, I would look to the Broncos' run game, where we are 3 run, 1 pass. Maybe that could be the cadence of how this game goes. Or if we're throwing the ball, we are doing... If I was the Broncos, I would look a lot into how Seattle beat the 49ers, because Tom Brady was talking about it a little bit in the broadcast. Sam Darnold did not beat you deep down the field. He beat you in slip screens and throwing out of the back, like into the flat. Like, okay, look, we got Harvey going this way, or hey, look, we can do like a little slip screen here and there. Because I'm going to be honest, trying to hit a deep ball like a 40-yarder or anything down the field, like what Josh Allen was throwing towards the end of the game, or what Bo Nix threw to Mims to take the lead, 30-27. I don't think you're going to get that out of Stidham. But again, who the hell knows? I could be wrong. The Broncos could go on an Eagles, Nick Foles type run here. Do I think they will? No. Because I think there's the only difference that I would say between the Broncos and the Eagles, one thing that is very similar is they're both, backups. They're both the 1 seed. Okay. Wentz was injured week 11 or week 12. So they had Nick Foles for about 4. You know what? Let's go double take. Nope, let's go fact check this right now. Let's go fact check this right now because I have a point that I need to prove. And it'd be the same reason why I'm not surprised of where the Eagles. Why I'm not surprised if quarterbacks opt out and hit the transfer portal and then your backup quarterback has to play in the bowl game. This is why I'm not surprised when those teams lose. Okay, here we go. All right. Los Angeles, right here. 43-35 win. Eagles lose Wentz to injury. Beat the Rams 43-35 to win the NFC East. Now, Jared Goff was, wow, look at this. Dude, this is, wow. This is a time vault here, dude. We got Todd Gurley, Cooper Kupp, Jared Goff. Oh my gosh. This is forever ago. Are there any photos? Damn, there's no photos. Okay, so, and then also Wentz was winning the MVP that year too. I'm not gonna shy away from that either. Okay, so Foles played 3 games. Foles had 3 games before you get into the postseason. Okay. Now, if I'm going to be honest, Atlanta they were okay this season. Not the best, not the worst. I don't even remember how this game went. I remember a couple things. I don't remember exactly 100%. Okay. The other thing, too, is for Minnesota to even get here to this game, the Minnesota Miracle happened. The Diggs touchdown. Because it could have been the Saints. This was also the era, the 3 or 4 year stretch era where the Saints should be in the Super Bowl and they don't get there. And it all started with this year. Nick Foles played out of his... Look at that. 352 for 3 touchdowns. Case Keenum, 2 interceptions. Keenum didn't, Okay. Nick Foles played out of his freaking mind that whole game. Now, like I said, Nick Foles had the remainder of this game. Oh, because when did Wentz get injured? You know what? Let's go look it up. Whoa. Okay, so it was in the third quarter. Oh my gosh, dude. It's like it was freaking yesterday, bro. So this happened in the third quarter. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, can I say another thing too? I think these Rams unis are so underappreciated. This, like, okay, you know what doesn't help an ACL tear when you're walking on it either. So the fact that they didn't have a stretcher was kind of, But, so Nick Foles played in the remainder of this game. He played in a handful of regular season games to end the season because this was also before the NFL put another week on the regular season. Anyways, all this being said, Foles had playtime under his belt before going into the Super Bowl because he played in a divisional round against the Falcons, who won the South. Stidham did not. And that's the point I'm trying to come across here and make when you look at this bracket, when you look at these teams, is that Stidham is having his first start, which they pulled out the stat that the only other quarterback that has had their first start of the season be AFC a championship game, something like that. Excuse me, Staubach, and so they've made fun comparisons between Staubach and Stidham, but I'm sorry. We see how good that Patriots defense was. We've seen how many takeaways they've gotten from Herbert and Stroud. I don't see Stidham having a Nick Foles type run. I really don't. Especially with your biggest game being the AFC Championship, one win away from the Super Bowl, and that being your first start. If Bo Nix and this same situation happened around week 12, week 13, same situation like the Eagles, if the Broncos kept winning, then yes, we can start to have that conversation. But to turn around, because I think Bo Nix is getting surgery tomorrow, but for the injury to happen and then the turnaround, because I think I think it's a normal NFL schedule. I don't think they'd have practice till tomorrow. Or maybe they had practice today because they had Sunday as a rest day. But it's like, you can't, a week notice? Like a week, hey, you've been sitting the bench all season, baby. You haven't seen any reps. You haven't seen the field since August. Good luck. No, I don't know. Now, so, all right, if you feel that way, why did you pick the Broncos then? Because both teams, I feel it's the lesser of two evils. No, but it just, I had the Bills, and then after the Bills, I had the Broncos. I had the winner of this go into the Super Bowl, and then from there, this is how I had it ranked out. And I thought I'd just stick by that, stick by my guns here. But I really, there's just parts of me where, like, I can't see the AFC winning the Super Bowl. Yeah, and you know what? If the Broncos do win the Super Bowl, maybe I'll circle back to this and be like, all right, whoops. But I really, yeah, I feel so bad for Broncos fans right now. You would have to, like, if I was Bo Nix, dude, I don't care that I fractured my ankle or broke it. Like, I am playing in that next game. I am. Look at how many injuries Allen played through. Mahomes in the past. I mean, we all had a Jones over Super Bowl 57 where Mahomes has that high ankle sprain against the Jags. Then he played and beat them. Then he played and beat the Bengals the next game. And then he played and beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl, even though the ankle injury got re-aggravated. Like, you're not taking me off the field if I'm Bo Nix. I don't give a shit. You're not taking me off the field. Load me up with some Percocets, put a rod in my leg or something, and get me back out on the field. Put a brace on it. Put, like, something. You know what? And maybe I can make a video about this a little bit later. Post it on a different social media platform where I can, give my true thoughts and opinions to it. But I'm telling you, here's a fun theory that I just want to throw out there, and I'll leave on this note. People in the shorts, we'll see you guys later. Thanks for hanging out. Bye. Okay, we'll have that leave. But here's my thoughts and here's my opinions. The NFL has been real keen on, and I'm not calling out the NFL, not by any means, but the NFL has kind of been very loosey-goosey, as some might say, on certain substances and banned substances and painkillers, is what I'm trying to say. And I'm thinking, because they wanted to ban smelling salts. And I'm telling you, if the NFL, here's a hot fun theory. If the NFL didn't ban foreign substances, like the MLB banning sticky tack or whatever, spider tack, whatever the hell it was called. But if the NFL didn't ban substances, there's parts of me that think the Broncos could find substances to have enough painkillers for Bo Nix to walk on that ankle and play on it. Just a fun theory. Hey, it's just a theory. Nothing too crazy, but, like, there's parts of me that think, gosh, dude, freaking in the preseason, we heard about the chambers, the cryo-freeze, like the hyperbolic chambers that Stafford used to go sit in, like the Terminator, because we thought his back was going to break. So there's parts of me that, like, I mean, even Purdy played a little bit, not the remainder, but he played a little bit of that NFC Championship game on a bad Tommy John's. So my brain is thinking, dude, just load him up on the pills, baby. Get him back out there. But no. So I don't know. We might do a fun video on that later. But I'm going to end the stream here, though, guys. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Why do I have to end the stream here? Because it's 5 o'clock. And you know what's going to start? The National Championship. So I better get out of here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. I thank you all for being here with me. So those are my final thoughts and reactions to the Texans-Patriots game. Very... It was bad. It was a bad game. Sloppy game with how many turnovers there were. With the Bills-Broncos game, you know what? I don't think the Bills are ever going to win a Super Bowl. There, I said it. Hot take, Josh Allen. Dude, just retire, man. Just retire. You're never going to win one. No, but he's going to win one. He's going to win one of these days. But and then Seahawks 49ers game was over after the opening kickoff, and then Bears and Rams. See, that's how much I've rambled and talked. I haven't even covered the Rams Bears game, and that was the best. Well, the Bills one was good, but the Rams Bears one was the best game, one of the best. Like Stafford freaking turning back the clock, dude. Again, I don't know. Fun theory that I have that has been sitting in the back of my mind is that there's parts of it, and I've said it in streams before, where if the Rams do win the Super Bowl, does Stafford ride off into the sunset a 2-time champ? I don't know, but we'll leave it with that, guys. Think about that one, but I'll catch you guys in another stream. Peace out.